Man United won, West Ham 0. Big win in the context of the league. We had to get the W today. We did. It wasn't the most glamorous, but we should have had more goals, if you're being honest. And West Ham come to stick the place out. We found it hard initially, but we managed to get the big win and the hunt for top four. That strengthens our position.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, even though it was a slow game at the start, with the way that West Ham set up, you kind of just expected that. And I think most teams would have struggled against the way West Ham set up today. Of course, we know that we'd struggle against the low block. I mean, we talk about it quite a lot on here, but I think to get that goal and then see out the game with the injuries that we have, I think it was a good result for us. And to be honest, I thought that it could have been a draw today. So I'm really happy that we've managed to grind out that result and go back to second, I think. And it kind of confirms top four a little bit more and makes it a little bit more solid. And it just shows that even against a tough game when you've got injuries, that you can still go there and get the result, which is the main part. And I thought we had a few standout performances today as well. I thought some people played really well, but it's just obviously with the amount of defenders they had on and the way that they were sitting deep, it was always going to be hard for us to break them down because we're not the most fluid team, are we, like going forward with our passing. But overall, I think it was a good game and we managed to get the result. So yeah.
Talk to us about some of these players that you think played really well.
Shaw for a start. Shaw, I don't know what's happened to him. I mean, we know he's done well. Don't get me wrong, but he literally is one of the best left backs in Europe at the moment. His acceleration, the way he can just bomb past players because of his power. His touch today. Have you seen some of his skill moves? I was like, oh, Shaw. I was literally there, like, what's happened to you? It's literally turned Brazilian, but. Yeah, and I just feel like he's playing with so much confidence. And do you know what I think? I'm not putting it down to Bruno, obviously, but every time Shaw gets on the ball, you see kind of Bruno like telling him exactly what he should be doing. And obviously, it's Shaw himself; he's doing it. But I just think they're building a really good relationship, player relationship. And I think them relationships are really, really important in football because you can tell that Greenwood and Wan-Bissaka don't really have like a good playing style relationship. Whereas Luke Shaw and Rashford have that, and now Bruno, Luke Shaw have it. I think Bruno and Fred have it as well, and it's good to have them sort of relationships in the team. I thought Greenwood did pretty well. I think he's such a good player, honestly. I know he's not been scoring as many goals this season, but I think his overall play has improved a lot. He's just struggling to score the goals at the minute, but they will definitely come. I just think his last decision at the moment is a little bit off, but that's just because he's not been scoring regularly. That'll definitely come back. The only thing I'd say about that he needs to improve, he's going to play number 9, is him and Rashford, really. They're both in the same boat. Their anticipation in front of goal. There was a few times today when Fabianski palmed it out and Rashford had his back to the goal, whereas a proper number 9 will be in there trying to take it on. And that's the only thing that them two need to improve. Their physical awareness, their anticipation, and the presence in the box. But you can see that Greenwood keeps improving in that area. And yeah, I thought Maguire as well. Maguire
was solid. I mean, just to finish off on Greenwood, I think that sums this video up nicely. Greenwood is improving, 100%. Yeah, and onto Maguire though, I thought what I liked about today was the maturity to learn from past mistakes. You know, you look at West Ham with their aerial presence and stuff, and then we're going deep into the game with the 1-0 lead. We've been there before. AC Milan, Everton, you're thinking of it all over again. But Maguire, when we talk about him being a leader and being commanding, getting his head on everything, blocks, he did his job today.
Yeah, he did his job. Well. You saw him talking to players, telling them he was leading the line. He was making sure we had a high line off set pieces, which is something we've not seen in a while. I think we dealt with set pieces a lot better today than what we've seen.
Yeah.
I think him and Lindelof were both extremely solid. You weren't worried when, like about a few weeks ago even, you would be worried with them two in a game like this, the physical presence of their players. You weren't worried, and they just kind of had that reassurance. I think Luke Shaw helped because he was brilliant defensively as well as going forward. And I just think Maguire's starting to get his confidence back and he's starting to play like the player we thought he could be. And I'm not saying he's all the way there yet because I still think he needs to score more goals. I still think he needs to take silly mistakes out of his game. But I generally think he's been extremely solid for like a month now at least. And yeah, every time I see him, he just keeps getting better and better. The only thing that I kind of think limits his game is when he goes forward, sometimes he doesn't let go of the ball quick enough. But that's just a little criticism. But I think overall he's definitely improving and getting better.
Yeah, and Dan James again today. I mean, today was a game where Marcus Rashford being back was a massive plus, because we all kind of looked at it after AC Milan with the injuries and was like, it's probably going to have to be Ahmad, Greenwood and Dan James with no other attackers ready to come on apart from Shola. So I think whoever played up front today was probably going to play 90 minutes. And, it was good to get Rashford back. But Dan James, after a quiet start, because of the type of game it was, he was keeping the ball well in the first half, just doing his jobs, tucking in. But second half, on the counter-attack, got into some real good positions, but just couldn't find that finishing product. But he was a threat, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think Dan James today had a really, really good game. I think when he got forward, he was taking players on. He was showing his ability to play with the ball close to his feet, because I always think he's very pacey, but I've never really seen him like dribble past players with ease and kind of do skill moves to get the ball. But he did it so much today. He really did well in tight spaces, which is something I've not seen from him in a long time. And then when he got the ball, I think it was off Diop or one of the defenders.
Yeah, it was Diop. Yeah, dinked it past him.
Yeah. Dinked it past him. Obviously, the final ball wasn't good enough, but I just think that is a lack of his end product sometimes isn't there, and I think that's just he needs to work on that over time. And I just don't think his final decision is there yet. But we've said that for a long time. But his work rate to get to that ball, and just for him to even think I can get the challenge in here, he did it so many times in the game. And as soon as he'd gone forward, you just see him sprint all the way back, getting the challenges in. He defensively, without a doubt, is our best winger defensively. I think him not being able to show that pass kind of shows a little bit of drop in quality a bit, because I feel like Rashford, Greenwood, Sancho, players like that would have made that pass. But when we're struggling with injuries, this is what I mean. His squad depth, and he can do a job, and he played really well today. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for how he's kind of come into the team and his attitude and the way he's been playing. Because
he's shown he's ready to kind of take that opportunity if it comes, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Still don't think he's a first teamer for us. I really don't. But when we're flooded with injuries and you need him to play in games like this, he can play in games like this. He can play in the City games where you just need that work rate. And I think he did really well. I don't take anything away from him today.
Yeah, definitely committed to the cause. How do you see now, in the context of our season and how important this game was, especially to win it and obviously not to lose it. But now that puts us, 9 points ahead of West Ham, even though they have a game in hand. So even if they win that's 6 points. 6 points ahead of Chelsea, I believe, on the same amount of games. Do you think, is it too early to say top four secured, or is it 1 foot in, or is it looking positive, or are you still like, no, let's just wait?
There's still a lot of games and we know what we're like with our consistency. So I'm not saying top four definitely, but I definitely think we're on our way to top four, and we'd have to do something. We'd have to go on a very poor run for us to not get top four now, because I do think the other teams that we're in a race with will drop points. And, Leicester showed today that they're not letting up. I know it's this beaten Sheffield United team without Chris Wilder, but still, I thought they played really well. And
yeah, they did.
They're flooded with injuries as well, and that's not stopped them.
Exactly.
But yeah, I do think we'll get top four, and I actually think we will get second place. I really do. But don't want to say it too early just in case, because about 2 months ago, we were saying we're going to win the title. So you never know.
we got to learn from that. Lastly, two things. One, who was your man of the match? And two, AC Milan and Leicester. 2 cup competitions coming up. Do you think we can get past both?
I think we can beat both of them teams, yeah. I know we've got injuries, but against AC Milan in the first leg, I thought we could have beat them, even though they were the better team. I just think we could have beat them, and their stadium is not going to be full now. And we've going there with a purpose. You're not going to want to get knocked out of another competition. The amount of times we've been knocked out in these competitions, I just don't see us losing there, I hope. And then against Leicester, I still think our team's better than theirs. And on our day, I do think we can beat them. So I'm positive going into them few games. But one thing's for sure, against a team that's going to press you, West Ham didn't really do it today. McTominay and Fred will not be up to the cause. I'm telling you that, because that was a major weakness in our team again today. McTominay and Fred, I've never seen anything like it. Two CDMs who can't pass the ball. like the sloppiness of their passes. Honestly, I know they're playing a lot of games, but this has been going on over and over and over again. And generally, you just know when they get the ball that when Rashford and Greenwood are making that run, it's never getting over to them, and you just see how frustrated the players get. We need Paul Pogba back as soon as possible. But I still think we can beat him, because Bruno started to drop deep now and pick up the ball and kind of do a little bit of their work for them. But yeah, when they get they need to be able to deal with the pressure against them two teams, because I think they're going to press us high up the pitch, because that's what AC Milan did last time, isn't it? And
yeah, we struggled
to be able to deal with it. But I'm a man of the match is Luke Shaw. I just think it's mad, because it used to just be Bruno every single game, but he's honestly our most consistent player at the moment. He's been immense since he's come back.
He has. Listen, roll on Thursday, a massive game, and then into the weekend as well. So I'll see you then.
If we beat AC Milan on Thursday, I think we can go all the way in the Europa League. I really do, but we'll just have to see. See you then.
Yeah, exactly. See you then. See you later.